Nothing in this podcast or on our website should be construed as medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider for your individual nutritional and medical needs. The information presented is based on our research and is strictly that of the author and not necessarily those of any professional group or other individual.
Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers. Welcome to Sue's Healthy Minutes. I'm so excited you've joined me today, and I hope this episode encourages you and allows you to find the answers you have been praying for the health of you and your family. Today's episode is entitled, Drink More Water. Over the past few weeks, I've shared with you some of my journey through healthy eating, particularly concerning real bread made from freshly milled flour and the amazing health benefits we saw from just this one simple change to our diets. I've shared how adding real bread and real whole grains to the other whole foods we were already enjoying brought significant and noticeable health changes to our family. I know I have shared them before, but I want to mention them again here today. For me, in that first day after eating bread, my constipation was completely relieved, never to return. In the first week, I saw a great increase in my energy levels, sustained throughout the day. And with 6 active young children at the time, I noticed these things. In the first month, my sugar cravings were diminished and my dependence on antihistamines completely gone, never to return. I wasn't a significant sweet eater, but there were times I simply craved them, but no more. Now that I was eating real bread, real complex carbohydrates, my sugar cravings and desires were completely satisfied. And prior to bread, I regularly had to take antihistamines. I struggled with constant sinus congestion and often had to take an antihistamine, especially at night, just so that I could sleep. But no more, all gone in the first month. And I can enthusiastically say to you today that I have not needed or taken an antihistamine or a decongestant of any kind in more than 30 years now. To me, that is a tremendous benefit. We saw the overall health of our children greatly improve. No more constant snotty noses and frequent sicknesses that seemed to pass through our entire family. And our history of being plagued by the virus that causes warts was ended. You can hear our amazing wart story in episode 5. I often mention whenever I tell my story that I was excited. Not only was this bread nutritious, but also very delicious. Finally, a health food our entire family would eat and loved. But besides all these wonderful health benefits, there was another benefit that I had not expected and actually rarely mention. With the significant benefits to our health that this one change brought, I began to wonder and actually desire to clean up our diet in other ways as well. The improved health that we saw from this one simple change of adding real bread to our diet began to make me want to make other simple changes to our diet that could bring even greater health benefits. And I began to consider the other not so healthy foods we were consuming without really being aware of the negative effects on our health. So I began my quest of reading labels, eliminating foods that were really not great choices for us, and taking steps to simplify our healthy eating journey. But the more I studied, I found that healthy eating had become way too complicated, and today, perhaps even more so. There are so many conflicting opinions presented as truth that it can be downright confusing. In fact, one study I read many years ago said that 25% of Americans say they are confused about what is healthy and what is not. I would imagine it's even more so today with our access to so much information through the internet. Understandably so, with all the diets proclaiming to be the best: vegan, vegetarian, paleo, keto, low carb, no fat. What are we to believe? I begin to perhaps, like most of you, ask, does healthy eating really have to be so complicated and restrictive? The answer I discovered is emphatically no. I found that just one basic principle is all we really need to prevail over our endeavors of a healthy eating lifestyle. Basic principle: simply eat real food. The first person to actually put this principle into words for me was Dr. Rex Russell in his brilliant but simple book entitled What the Bible Says About Healthy Living. Dr. Russell gave 3 core principles to healthy living. Number 1, eat only what God has created for food. Number 2, as much as possible, eat these foods as close to the way they were created as possible before they are changed or converted into something humans think might be better. For example, eat real bread made from freshly milled flour, or even more simply, eat the apple instead of the apple-flavored fruit bar. And number 3, avoid food addictions. Don't let any food or drink become your God. If you are addicted to a food, chances are it's not something God created, but something the food industry has altered. Building on these principles, I actually developed 7 steps to healthy living. Over the next few weeks, I thought I would share these simple steps with you. While not intended to be comprehensive, these steps can certainly be used to lay a strong foundation for any healthy lifestyle. We do not have to adapt our lifestyle to someone else's restrictive diet plan. You do not have to become a vegetarian or a meat eater, for that matter, to be healthy. Just simply make real food choices from the many wonderful food options that God has given us that best suits your family's likes and dislikes. The exciting news: you can begin today and even shop in the regular grocery store. You'll, of course, want to shop mostly on what I call the perimeter of the grocery store to find the real food. Real fruit, real vegetables, real meat, real eggs, and more. The important thing is to just eat real, eliminating as much processed food as possible. As we have discussed since the beginning of Sue's Healthy Minutes, the first most life-changing step on any health journey is to change your bread to real bread made from freshly milled whole grains. As grains are the most nutrient-dense food God has given us, yet are the most altered of all the foods offered in the regular grocery store today. You just can't find real bread there. So, of course, the first step in my 7 steps to healthy living is going to be change your bread, eat only real bread. And hopefully by now you're on this journey with me. And truthfully, if you never made another change in your diet, you could still experience some very positive results in your health. But why stop there? I realize that most of us often become very concerned about what we eat, but we neglect to consider the importance of what we drink. So step 2 in my 7 steps to healthy living is a simple step: drink more water and strive to replace the other beverages you may consume with water. You know, a person can fast from food as long as 40 days, yet a fast from water for more than 3 days can bring death. Water is the basis for all life, and every cell in our body needs water. Water actually makes up about 65 to 75% of our bodies. Your muscles that move you are 75% water. Your brain that thinks for you is 85% water. Your bones that support you, 25% water. And that blood plasma that transports nutrients to your cells, nutrients that your body needs, is 92% water. Water's role in our health cannot be overstated, and staying hydrated is critical. And this is even more critical now that you're getting more good fiber from your real bread. Remember the poopy talk from episode 3, digestion and elimination? Fiber increases the bulk of the stool by absorbing water in your bowels, which softens the stool and encourages proper daily elimination. But therefore, when increasing the consumption of fiber in our diets, which we do with real bread and whole grains, it's vital to drink more fluids, particularly water. Real bread made from freshly milled flour, as discussed previously, has lots of fiber, both soluble and insoluble fiber. And as for me and so many others, just eating real bread relieved my chronic constipation. But every now and then, someone will share with me how eating real bread did not relieve their constipation or actually made them constipated. People also often share that they get bloated or have excess gas now that they are eating real bread. The answer to relieve this discomfort can actually be as simple as drink more water. So since we're now eating real bread made from freshly milled flour and lots of fiber, it is more important than ever that your next step in your health journey is to drink more water. 6 to 8 glasses a day should be your goal, or about half your body weight in ounces of water. Try to begin to make it a habit to choose water over other less hydrating beverages. But water does more than just help relieve constipation. Water through our plasma brings nutrients into our cells, as well as removes the normal metabolic waste from inside our cells. Water is as effective a cleaner inside of our bodies as it is on the outside. And the sugary, caffeine-laden beverages that most Americans consume in abundance today simply cannot do the job, as they are actually dehydrating, not hydrating, which is one reason you thirst for more. For instance, when we consume a sugar-laden soft drink or even a diet soda, the high sodium level in that soft drink actually upsets the mineral balance in our body as well as our pH levels, as sodas are very acidic. Potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium are drawn in to help neutralize the acid and bring back balance to our minerals. A dentist once told me that when you drink soda, it actually leaches the calcium from your teeth. This would certainly explain that chalky feeling your teeth get whenever you drink a soda. But the calcium has to be replaced, so it's drawn from your storehouses in your body, which is our bones. Makes you wonder if the heavy consumption of soft drinks could actually be contributing to weakness in our bones and low bone density. Soft drinks with their high sodium and sugar content may actually be dehydrating if consumed in excess. Sugar increases your body's need for water, so while these drinks might taste refreshing at first, they can actually be dehydrating. When our bodies are dehydrated, our kidneys can't function properly. Waste from our cells must be dissolved in water to be removed by the kidneys. When we are even slightly dehydrated, kidney function can be compromised and waste might not be removed efficiently. The liver might then pitch in to help out. One of the liver's primary role is to store and release fat as needed for energy. If the liver is overtaxed, less fat is burned for energy, and therefore more fat is stored. I certainly do not want to oversimplify the cause of serious medical conditions, but what if what we need most is to just get our bodies clean and hydrated? Drink more water. What about our brains and our ability to think clearly? Doesn't it seem reasonable that if our brains are 85% water, that not getting enough water just might contribute to our overall mental state and even confusion? I had these effects of dehydration dramatically demonstrated on a trip years ago to Austin, Texas. I flew with my younger daughter to Austin for her to attend a 3-week intensive at Ballet Austin. I went to get her settled in her dorm, and then I was going to return home the next day. We flew into Austin in mid-June. It was a very hot day. 112 degrees. But we had a few hours to spare before her check-in time at the dorm, so we decided to enjoy a tour of the Capitol. I'm sure I was already mildly dehydrated from the flight, but spending a few hours in the Austin heat of 112 degrees further exasperated my dehydration. After dropping my daughter off and getting her settled, I headed to my hotel for the night. It was a simple, easy drive, but I got completely confused, lost my way, and finally had to pull into a fast food place to get some water. When I finally arrived at my hotel, I was completely exhausted and still somewhat confused. I had never experienced anything quite like this before. After learning later of the effect dehydration can have on our brain, I realized that I had experienced firsthand the importance of water and staying hydrated. Heat can take a real toll on our hydration. We lose about 2 quarts of water every day through normal perspiration, breathing, and urination. But we lose even more with excessive sweating due to exerting ourselves on an extremely hot day. In these instances, it is even more important to get the water we need to replace what we have lost. I do want to take a moment, though, here to address the use of the popular sports drinks that are widely advertised as critical for restoring electrolytes, balance, and hydration. While these might be quite useful after extreme physical activity and exertion, I am not sure they are the better choice for more normal conditions. Take, for example, a banana, an excellent food source of potassium, a key mineral electrolyte. Well, an average banana has only about 200 calories, 27 grams of natural sugar, but a whopping 422 milligrams of potassium. It would take nearly a gallon of the most popular sports drink to provide that much potassium. And to get that potassium from a sports drink, you would be consuming over 700 calories and 330 grams of sugar. My thought is, why not eat the banana and drink some water? In a study done with competitive cyclists during a 47-mile bike ride, they found that bananas and water outperformed the sports drink every time. Sports drinks are little more than sugar and salt water loaded with synthetic colors and flavors. Manufacturers of these products spend billions to brainwash us into believing that this water is a magical elixir that will save us after a workout or being in extreme heat. They want us to drink their neon-colored chemicals before, during, and after workouts to replenish what we lost in sweat. What's even more troubling to me is to see all the young kids at a ball field guzzling these chemical-laden drinks that mom or dad unwittingly purchased for them, thinking it is what they need. The truth is, a natural banana or even an orange or watermelon with some water will benefit you so much more and supply you not only with the needed electrolytes, but also other minerals and antioxidants as well. For hundreds of years, our farming and outdoor working ancestors spent hours in the hot sun sweating and never seemed to need these manufactured drinks. I think we will be just fine without them as well. To borrow an old cliche that became popular some years ago, what would Jesus do? Or better, what did Jesus do without these manufactured drinks after spending a day on the lake or preaching to thousands on a hillside or walking for miles in the hot sun? What did he do? He sat down and rested and got a cool drink of water from a well. Water is vital for life. But you may be thinking now, I don't really like water, which I understand. Growing up and for most of my young adult life, I never really drank or even liked water. I drank milk, Coca-Cola, and as a Southern girl, of course, sweet tea. But if I can make a change and now really prefer only water, so can you. Most of us know that we should drink more water, but knowing and doing are two entirely different mindsets. So today, I don't want to just tell you or convince you to drink more water. I want to leave you with a few tips that I have learned along the way that have helped me to make this important change. I first learned a trick and I call it priming the pump. First thing in the morning, before I drink or eat anything, I drink about an 8-ounce glass of water. This seems to prime my pump by helping me to be able to better distinguish between thirst and hunger throughout the day. It actually seems to make me thirst more for water. And everyone I've shared this trick with finds the same result. As we age, we tend to lose that thirst sensation. And unfortunately, dry mouth is one of the last signs of dehydration. Fatigue, brain fog, headache, and even backache usually comes first. Priming the pump this way helps to restore our natural thirst mechanism. Also at night or while we sleep is our healing time. So morning time is our cleansing time. Drinking a glass of water will help thin and clear the mucus that may have accumulated overnight in the back of our throat. Another tip that I have actually been practicing just recently. Sometimes I get so busy, I forget to drink. I often get to the end of my day, or especially at the end of a class, and realize my water bottle is still full from the morning. So I have recently started to keep a cup next to my bathroom sink, and every time I go to use the bathroom, I drink an 8-ounce glass of water as I wash my hands. This does two things to increase my water consumption. It makes me have to use the bathroom more often, so I'm actually drinking more often. It's a win-win. I say mission accomplished. If you're really hooked on other beverages such as sodas or tea or coffee, I know it's hard not to reach for those when you feel thirsty. But if you can, try to make a conscious effort to drink a glass of water before you reach for your favorite beverage. You will first quench that thirst, and you may even put off the urge to drink the other beverage. I found that eventually sugar-laden drinks were almost sickening to me, and I actually prefer water. One word of caution here I need to mention. During your transition to drinking more water, you may be attracted to many of the fruit-infused waters that are so popular today. I encourage you, though, to read the label. Many have unsuspecting artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. So be careful. Read the label. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes I just get too busy and I forget to drink. So I will leave you with a few more practical tips that might help you in your drink more water journey and to meet your daily consumption goals. Use a straw or find a water bottle you love. I have found lately that I drink more if I use a straw. Drink, don't sip your water. I find I do better if I try to drink 8 ounces at a time. A sip here and there just doesn't seem to stimulate that thirst mechanism. Drink a glass of water while you prepare your meal. I don't drink when I eat, so this gets my water in before I eat. Be creative, but try to get intentional about making water your primary beverage. Real bread and water are vital for life and health. Most of us are on this journey seeking better health and a more enjoyable life. And I love the promise of God to the Israelites in Exodus 23:25. Having just delivered them from the bondage of Egypt, he tells them, "You shall serve only the Lord your God, and I will bless your bread, and I will bless your water, and I will take sickness from the midst of you." Thank you for joining me today. May the Lord bless you and may he keep you until next time. Drink more water. I am Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minutes.
Sue's Healthy Minutes podcast has been a presentation by the Breadbeckers Incorporated located in Woodstock, Georgia. For more information, store hours, and learning opportunities, visit breadbeckers.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Share this with 2 friends who would benefit from this information, and be sure to join us again next week for more of Sue's Healthy Minutes.